This is Eric Andrews, CWF Worldwide Television Champion. You're listening to the official, unofficial CWF Worldwide Aftershow.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh.
We didn't
I keep doing the Brown Sucks, oh, God thing.
For going on 2 years now. The guys here on the network make fun of me for it, no less.
Trevor Lee!
There you go. The host, ring announcer, sometimes brilliant commentator, the lovely CL Party. CL, how are you doing tonight?
I am great. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
The technical director of CWF Mid-Atlantic, the one and only Grant Sawyer. Thank you for joining us, Grant. How are you?
Oh, thanks for having me back, buddy. I'm happy to fill in because, I'm just sitting around listening to you guys anyway.
I could be in that building at Absolute Justice and cut a fart.
Mm-hmm.
6 years later, they're going to be like, whatever happened to that badass Joe White sitting in the third row cutting farts?
Right.
Everything fucking means something in this place, and I love it.
What you want, White?
You're supposed to remember shit.
Mm-hmm. They don't insult your intelligence.
Damn right they don't. None other than the one, the only, Sis. Sis, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fantastic.
Is Johnny P. John Philip Pavage is going to be joining us. How are things going?
Oh, good. I got a break from editing because you're calling me.
Okay.
So
I have to
I
ask.
still have to do everything. It's just that I get to pace myself better. I guess.
I have to ask because you mentioned it.
Yeah.
What are you editing? Again, that music can only mean one thing. We are joined by the current, reigning, defending, rising Generation League champion of CWF Mid-Atlantic, and that is Mr. Kane Justice. What's up, Kane?
What's up, guys? And by the way, it is the record setting. I've defended the belt 8 times.
There you go.
More than anyone else in history. All about Kane now, man.
Bruce Mitchell is joining me right now on the line. How are you, Bruce?
This week I have done shows with Wade Keller, J.J. Dillon, and WWE Hall of Famer, another WWE Hall of Famer, Stan Hansen, Gerald Briscoe, WWE Hall of Famer, Jim Ross. And now the highlight of the entire run is built to this been like a great wrestling program. I've been climbing that ladder, and now I'm here on the blow-off show, the blow-off match. You're it, man. You transcend all those guys.
I was going to go the opposite of that and say, look how the mighty have fallen.
No. I had to build my way to this show, the CWF.
I appreciate
Unofficial,
it, sir.
official.
I'm with Trevor on this one.
Oh, come on.
I'm with Trevor on this one.
Come on.
You got Cecil on the air going, oh, maybe it won't be one of these guys that's here. Maybe it'll be a new guy to dethrone him. Well, how about this, Cecil? Nobody's going to dethrone him. How about that? That's right, Trev.
I love this show.
This is CL Party welcoming you to the unofficial CWF Worldwide After Party with Joe White.
It's Wednesday. It's 10:30 p.m. It's the From Pillar to Post radio channel right here on YouTube and Twitch.tv. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, folks. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow the conversation here on Twitter. You can add me at Joe Pillar to Post. The quickest and easiest way to interact, though, join us in that chat room right there on Twitch and on YouTube. It's right there on your screen. Also, feel free to give us a call. Let us know what you felt about tonight's episode 119. You can call us 434-710-4900. That's 434-710-4900. And we want to know what you thought about tonight's episode, so get at us any way you can. You'll see a crawl along the bottom of your screen talking about CWF FanCon. We'll get into that here in a minute. I wanted to talk about tonight's episode a little bit here, but before we get into tonight's episode, of course, that's what we do here. I got a funny story about none other than Donnie Dollars. And I don't know if this is one of those you have to be there stories, but it's like I cannot get away from this promotion. Everything, I can't get away from pro wrestling, period. But this week, I could not get away from CWF. We got details about FanCon going. Everything's going to be good. Everything's right. Started a new job this week. And one of the guys at my position, I'm not going to mention his name. I'll just call him such and such here because I don't know if he wants to be mentioned. He happens to be from, this guy, such and such, happens to be from Roanoke, Virginia, which is about 2 hours north of me. 2 hours northwest, I should say. So I found out this guy's from Roanoke, and we start chatting a little bit because we're from the same state, and then turns off he likes video games. Hey, you're my buddy right there. Then it turns out that he likes pro wrestling. Because, of course, they do this whole bit on your first day of what you're into, what your hobbies are, what you like to do for fun. And, of course, I'm not afraid to ashamed to say that I like pro wrestling fans, or I like pro wrestling. Most fans that you see now are almost ashamed to admit that they love this wonderful sport that is pro wrestling, this wonderful art form that is pro wrestling. I'm not one of those guys. I will gladly wave the banner. So he messages me, hey, you like wrestling? Yeah, I love wrestling. Been watching it pretty much all my life. And me too. And we get to talking about WWE. And he goes, do you watch the Independents? And I was like, of course. Of course I do. You know, I watch New Japan when they have the big shows. That's not really independent, I don't think. But I mentioned CWF to him. I mentioned, yeah, there's a great promotion out in North Carolina. You got to go check them out. And he goes, so you know who Donnie Dollars is? And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. Yeah? He says, next time you see him at a show, tell him such and such says hi. He was in my wedding party. So instantly I was like, oh, shit, this just can't be happening. Only to me would this happen, that somebody knows Donnie Dollars outside the wrestling world. So I thought that was funny. It's just like I can't get away from this promotion this week. I can't get away from pro wrestling at all in my life. Everything leads back to pro wrestling for me. I don't know why. I do want to tell you guys as well that you saw a graphic that I put together. I threw it together. I'll go ahead and put it back on the screen here for you guys. I want to talk serious here for a minute. The man on your screen is is my mentor. And when I say that, you may notice he has headset on. He has the microphone. Far better equipment than I'll ever have. That man's name is Rick Hendrickson. If it was not for that man right there, I would not be doing this. I would not be doing internet radio or podcasting, whatever you want to call it. I would not be doing internet radio. There would be no CWF AfterShow. I wouldn't sound as good as I do now. Granted, there's people out there that sound better, but I wouldn't sound as good as I do now. I wouldn't have the equipment that I have now or know how to work the equipment I have now if it wasn't for that man right there. That man right there was my first co-host on From Pillar to Post back in 2005. He pretty much taught me how to do this. He was an excellent friend. Rick Hendrickson passed away last week after a series of bad health events kept him in the hospital for about 3 weeks total, and he pretty much ended up having had a stroke, from what we were told. That combined with pneumonia killed him. I think he was only 33 or 34 years old. When he passed, he had no life insurance. And his family's having to, I'm not going to say scramble because I don't know their financial situation, but I do know that the family is having to pay for the funeral expenses for Rick out of pocket. So I will encourage you guys this week, I am going to shill for donations, because any donations made to From Pillar to Post Radio, either on Twitch or on YouTube, if you look down at the bottom in the description, you'll see how to donate via PayPal and credit card. Any donations made to these two channels throughout the month of August and September are going to go directly to Rick Hendrickson's sister and mother to help pay for his funeral expenses and whatever else they may need. I encourage you guys to help. If you're a fan of the show, then you have to be a fan of Rick Hendrickson, because there would be no me without him as far as this goes. I would have gotten out of it a long time ago. So if you like this show, if you like the channel, just this one time, I don't usually shill for donations. But this one time I'm going to ask for your help. Hit the donate button. $1, $5, 50 cents. I don't care. All of it's going to go to help the family of Rick Hendrickson throughout the month of August and September. Again, we want to know what you thought of tonight's episode 119. If you guys, man, there was no Trevor Lee on the show, but man, this show was awesome. I loved this episode of Worldwide. Let's get into it. It kicked things off with Aspen Rose versus Casey Lennox, the Midnight Mermaid Aspen Rose. She was with Aaron Epic. Cecil Scott and Amber Gertner called this one. I like Amber Gertner's commentary here on this match a lot better than I did the last match we heard her call. Mentioned that Aspen Rose was trained by Jane Lethal, but Casey Lennox was trained by Aaron Epic, who is Aspen Rose's manager for this match. There's a couple things about this. The kick blocking in this match looked kind of weak to me. The Aspen, the cutter into the Border City stretch was really good, though. But aside from that one spot where they're blocking each other's kicks and then Aspen turns it into the cutter, the blocking of the kicks to me just seemed off. And it's not that I'm stupid Mark, I know. Can you turn your volume up a little? How about now? Because I am all the way up here. Let me see. Maybe your internet connection, buddy, because I'm all the way up. I'm hearing myself in my own headphones. It's pretty loud, and the meter here on the board's going sky high. So I'm about as loud as I can go. If anybody else is having problems, let me know. I did like I did like Aspen, the part where Aspen was running, her run looked kind of weak. It's just a lot of things about this match to me didn't click, but a lot of things did click. I want to see more of these two. Casey Lennox, this was her debut here in CWF. I like her already. I don't know if she typically plays a heel or babyface or whatever. In this case, she was a babyface. I like her already. I like everything about her, from her ring gear to her work, everything. Match ended with a siren song, which is a Koji clutch. She taps out Lennox. Put here, I want to see more of these two. Lennox has tons of potential. I mean, given this the first time I've seen her, I have to go by what I've seen here. I want to see more of Casey Lennox. Yeah, it might be your PC speaker. But I'm about as up as far as I can go without bursting my own eardrums here. Caprice Coleman and Darius Lockhart are in the back. The Vanguard got screwed out of the titles. They talk about how they want another shot, and Caprice Coleman calls the Dawsons a bunch of jive turkeys, and had a good little promo here from these two. You can sense that it was taken right after the match. You could tell that they were angry, and I want to see them get another shot at this. I don't want this feud to be over with. I like it. And then we had a match that was kind of crazy here. Frankie Flynn, Brian Carson, and Evan Adams versus the Dirty Daddy, Kane Justice, and Movie Mike. Fans chant CWF, which is a good thing. I was debating with somebody on Twitter. Well, not debating. I was agreeing with them. How, and CWF fans do this a lot. And it kind of irks me. You have a good match. You have a really good match. And instead of chanting, for either one of the wrestlers, or even a both these guys chant, or all these guys chant, would be better than chanting the promotion's name. But this case, when you have Team CWF versus a team from another promotion, it's okay to chant the name of the promotion, because that's the way the match is booked. So I liked it. It was a good thing for the fans to chant CWF. Gave them a reason to chant CWF. I like how Kane really doesn't take this match seriously. He does, but he doesn't. He keeps the water bottle here on the apron. He's wearing a T-shirt, for crying out loud. He doesn't even have his red knee pads or kick pads on. Very lackadaisical. Very, very lackadaisical here. And within reasons, because that's Kane's character. He's supposed to be an arrogant asshole. He's supposed to be an arrogant, I'm better than you prick, and I also back it up. So this, and compared to how we've seen Kane booked over the last few months, I thought this was a step down for Kane, but it made sense in the end. Yes, Moving Mike looked great tonight. He is improving, drastically improving, very much improving. I like it. I put here, this match is here to remind you of Kane's place in the company. Not that that's a bad thing, because I do think one day we are going to see. I've been preaching this all year. I always said, if me, the stupid Mark here, Joe White, had the book, I would put Kane in the main event of Battlecade this year. I would have Kane win the fucking tournament. I would have him in the main event of Battlecade. I would hotshot him a little bit because Kane's story to me runs a little bit alongside of Kurt Angle in his first year in WWE. They hotshotted the hell out of Kurt Angle during that first year. Slowly but surely they did. He was champion within the first year of him being in the company. And he was a rookie. Where else had Kurt Angle wrestled? I mean, the Olympic thing or whatever, to me, it is what it is. But go to your PC main volume and turn up everything. It's not controlled by my PC. It's controlled by an external soundboard. And it's up all the way. Let me try one thing, guys. Hold on. Okay. I hope that's better. It's coming through as, the meters here on everything is topping out. So I don't know why it's quiet tonight. I like to say is check your guys' PC speakers and maybe even refresh the page. But everything on my end's turned up. It's all controlled externally. It's not controlled through my PC sound card. And so, oh, not you, him. Okay. I thought you were talking about me. I'm like, what? Because it's like, I don't touch the dials. The only thing I do for the soundboard is flip the power on and off when I want to go on the air. But again, I akin this year to Kurt Angle, Kane to Kurt Angle, and I know it's not the message that CWF's trying to convey, but again, it's just where I would go. I know, stupid Mark. Put a book in your hand, Joe White. You book a show. Anyway, happy birthday today to Stutzy, by the way. Happy birthday, Stutzy. So I hope it's been a good birthday for you, man. Really, I do. So we got the fans chanting CWF. Weird Body Evan Adams. I want to talk about this guy real quick. I never thought we would see a guy who makes Spike Dudley look fat. But this guy, Evan Adams, he makes Spike Dudley look like a heavyweight. I'll just put it that way. This guy, wow. What would JR say? He weighs about $150 smoking wet with a couple of barbecue ribs in him. I did like his work though. That's just what was crazy. He did a nice heel pick. I want to know who was working the camera during this match because I looked in the. There was not your normal cameraman at ringside. Kane double team tries to go for the double team, and and this is just the beauty of how they book Kane and how Kane acts. Kane has, I want to say he has Evans in the arm lock. He reaches his hand out to Daddy, and Daddy looks around and he tags him in. He's like, "All right, I'll trust you." He tags in. He goes up top, and Kane leaves him hanging and makes him miss the double team. I put here Frankie Flynn was good and impressive in this match. It's a different Frankie Flynn than what we saw previously here in CWF a couple weeks ago or a month ago. I liked how the commentary team was trying to get AIW over. They were trying to book this as, promotion versus promotion. And I thought they did a good job of it. If you've never heard of AIW before, after this, you still don't know who they are. You still don't know what they're all about because, this is probably the first and only time we'll ever see something like this. Do you have updates on the co-host situation, or is it just going to be you solo? I am looking for a new co-host. There's some irons in the fire on that. The problem with having a co-host is I need to have it, Jeff Edwards was such a good co-host for this show because of the fact that he watched it every week and could jump on and commit to being live with me every Wednesday, and he took it seriously. If I'm going to do a new co-host, and it's hard to find somebody who was as committed as Jeff was. The new floor camera guy is great. Would that be you? I thought it was you. But the problem with a co-host is finding somebody I can trust. I could trust Jeff Edwards. And the reason why he left wasn't because he wasn't able to commit anymore. It was just a parting of the ways and a falling out a little bit. I mean, I talked to Jeff Edwards last weekend. Me and him are fine, personally. But if somebody could commit to doing this show each and every Wednesday night at 10:30 with me, 10 or 10:30 with me, they could watch the product every week, maybe even commit themselves to watching a little bit of the backlog of the product. This is episode 18 of our show. We've been doing this for 18 weeks. I can't believe it either, right? But if I could find somebody who is willing to commit to the show Wednesdays, who is willing to watch the show when they put it out at 9, take notes, do their due diligence on it, and take it seriously like I do, I just haven't found that guy yet. And until I find that person, it's going to be me here solo. If you're listening to this and you think you can do it and you're interested in doing it, Twitter handle's on your screen. Drop me a line. But until that can happen, it's me. You're stuck with me. We got an Angus Young AC/DC reference here. The comment, drop kick. The drop kick on Dirty Daddy was just freaking amazing. That one that turned him inside out. I put here Kane Kane arguing with Dirty Daddy pretty much the whole match. Got a bit of a weak dive from Frankie Flynn. Movie Mike is looking good here in this match. We got a Jason Mewes reference. And I was like, I'm sitting here marveled. And maybe this is what the direction they were going for. But I'm sitting here marveled at the size of Evans. And they give him the pinfall in the match. I mean, maybe that was the psychology of the whole finish. Kane prevents Dirty Daddy from going in and breaking up the pinfall, which was interesting. Very interesting here. Good heel work by Kane as always. And he goes to work on him after the match, throwing him into the ring post. And we know that they're going to face each other on finals night here this Saturday at the Sportatorium. But it's a good way to kind of renew that rivalry. The Dirty Daddy Kane Justice rivalry was so good back in 2016, culminating at Battlecade. Wouldn't mind seeing those two go at it again. AC Hawks and Carlos Gabriel come out to a challenge, and they get challenged by the Sandwich Squad, and you pretty much know how this is going. Clothesline by Biggs on Gabriel. I've never seen somebody take a clothesline and land on their head like that. It looked freaking brutal. I was scared for a second there. I was like, oh my God, don't take that bump ever again. Just take it normally, kid. Now, granted, I don't know crap from apple butter about how to take a bump. Joe White, you take a bump. Find out, Joe White. You know why he landed on his head. But it looks sick. I was shocked that this match went as long as it did. I full well expected this to be a total squash, and it kind of was here. It's good to see the Sandwich Squad again. The Hero Sandwich, Cecil's call here of "It's a murder" was great. Speaking of the commentary, the same guy who I mentioned who knows Donnie Dollars, I was talking to him, and he said he's tried to watch CWF Mid-Atlantic, but the commentary puts him off, he says. Says it's too southern. He said, quote, and I quote unquote, Stutz, I've heard Stutz is a brilliant booker, but he tries to sound too much like JR. And I had to convince this guy. I was like, dude, give it another shot, man. All the yelling and the oh God and everything aside, the good thing about the oh gods and everything is we make fun of it on this show. It's a running rib for us. But I think I convinced him to give it another shot. Maybe. But I do miss Jeff. I miss Jeff too. I do miss Jeff. I wish Jeff was here tonight. I miss bouncing stuff off of him. So we get the Hero Sandwich, and after the match, Michael McAllister comes out, and he wants to get Rage in the Machine back together. Mecca's turning him down again. This is the second time this year this has happened. Once was during the Kernodle Cup, or before the Kernodle Cup. Mecca turns him down. Cross comes out, tells him, be your own man. I could teach you to control him, but you got to want to do it yourself. This is the second time McAllister's been propositioned by William Cross, and this time McAllister finally shakes hands and agrees, and they go to the back. And we get Sharpie, Ethan Alexander Sharp, a good promo. Probably the best promo I've ever seen from Ethan Alexander Sharp. It was serious Sharpie this time. We got serious Sharpie. We didn't get ha-ha sis Sharpie, which, where has sis been? We need more sis on our YouTube. Says this is the second year in a row he's in the semifinals, and he's more sinister. He's a little bit heartbroken, but he's not going to let that get in the way. He's going to win that Weaver Cup this year. Good promo by Sharpie. Eric Andrews comes out. This was great. The CO Party is introducing him, and he goes, no, we're not going to pick up anybody out of the tub yet. Here, and he hands CL a piece of paper, and CL, looking beautiful as always, reads the paper in the most like blah kind of way. Like, here he is, the champion, carrying on his reign. That's what it sounded like to me. It was like, I am going to read it in a monotone kind of. And it was beautiful. Good emotion. She's funny. Oh, was she funny in this? Stutzy, we get a cutaway from Stutzy going, you just lost. How can you say the greatest thing ever? And just when you think we're getting ready to, reach in the bucket, Lee says he's not done. He's brought back up, and out comes Lee Valiant. Kind of a riot reunion going on here. Stutzy looks visibly shaken by this. Stutzy really did an excellent job selling this because there's personal history there between him and Lee Valiant, him and the Riot in general. Stutzy did a fantastic job selling this. He did not look excited to see Lee Valiant back at the Sportatorium. It was beautiful. And of course, Cam Carter is drawn. And I gotta say, man, Cam Carter was made in this match. Absolutely made in this match. This is the best match Cam Carter has had in CWF, in my opinion. And of course, you can't look good. You're only as good as your opponent makes you look. Eric Andrews here did a fantastic job. You can't overlook Eric Andrews in this match. He made Cam Carter look like $1 million. $1,000,001. We get it immediately. They're joking about how he lost to Smith in 10 seconds, and it was a very hot open. Not even 5 seconds into the match, Valiant's up on the apron, tries to do a spear into the ring, through the ropes into the ring to hit Cam Carter, but no, he hits Eric Andrews instead. Cam goes for the hot cover, only gets a 2. It's the best looking, I'm telling you. Nice, really good flying crossbody. I have written down here, this is the best Cam has looked recently, and I agree with that. After that 10-second loss to Smith Garrett, Cam Carter needed this kind of booking. He needed this kind of showing, and they delivered it tremendously. This match made me want to see Cam Carter again. How big is the Sportatorium, if you can describe it, compared to other indie venues? Is it hard to tell based on what we see on TV? Grant, if you're in the chat room, you want to take that one? It's hard to describe. The best thing I could tell you to do, and I know Grant's probably going to say this too, come down here and find out. That place is magic. It's not the size of like a rec center or anything like that, but it's intimate. I almost think of that building as theater in the round. It's the best way to describe that building. It's beautiful. It's magic. That building is a character of its own. That show would not be the same without that building. Even though we say, we encourage them to go, push to 300. And you know what? 300 is awesome. Hell, Battlecade, I could guarantee you they packed more in there than that. Battlecade, they was standing room only. They were packing them in like cordwood that night. That building is magic. That building is a character. They ran bigger buildings and it just does not look the same. Anyway, getting back to this match here. Cam Carter with Andrews good selling. Cam Carter with a series of roll-ups here that looked magical. Stutz says he's blown up just from calling it. They mentioned that there's a Rising Generation League tournament coming up. I hope to God it's not on Worldwide. Keep this to the RGL shows. Why? Because we've had enough tournaments this year. We've already had 2 tournaments in CWF. We've had too many tournaments in wrestling in general this year. I'm sick of tournaments. Talk about Benny the Ref coming in. Benny the Ref did a good job. Real good job. They mentioned in this match, and I believe right as the time I was writing it down, the bell rung, because Valiant interferes again, and Andrews retains here. They mentioned that, and this is the beauty of this match, Eric Andrews did not get off one single punch or strike in this match. It was that good. That's mind-blowing to me that they had a guy win a match and he didn't get a strike in. And the match was damn good. That's incredible. Thank you. CWF FanCon comes your way October 13th and 14th. For details on how to attend, you're going to have to see Johnny P on Twitter or JB. Their Twitter names are scrolling across your screen right now. Hook up with them. Come join us for fun in this coming Rumble weekend. We're going to have free Q&As, panels, and more. They're trying to get a head count together. So if you'd like to come down for this beautiful event, first ever CWF FanCon, see those guys on Twitter for more information. They also have the schedule pinned up on their tentative schedule pinned up. I'll read that for you so you can get a gist of what we're doing or what they're doing later on in the episode here. If you'd like to call in, let us know what you thought about the show. 434-710-4900. If you're watching us on the archive, we are live here each and every Wednesday night at about 10:30 p.m. reviewing what's going on over on the CWF Worldwide television show or YouTube show. For more information on CWF, check out their website, CWF247.com or CWFWorldwide.com. Johnny P says he's going to go. You better go. You're the one putting it on. You're the host. Johnny P's in our chat room. Join us in our chat room each and every week, folks. With the technical director of CWF, Grant Sawyer's there most weeks. Johnny P is there some weeks. I'm in there. Kane Justice has even been known to show up on occasion in the chat room. Your Rising Generation League champion. So make sure you're following along with us here in the chat room. We are live. This is from Pillow to Post Internet Radio. And you're listening to the official, unofficial CWF Worldwide AfterShow. We got a standing O from Cam Carter after the match, or a bit of an ovation, I should say. If I was there, I would have given him a standing ovation. I wasn't there live for this show. It's damn good work by Cam Carter. Cam Carter made himself. Eric Andrews made Cam Carter. Cam Carter made Eric Andrews. This is what a wrestling match should be. I got to say one thing here, because I know what they're doing. Before on the CWF FanCon, the night of the 13th, I believe. Let me check and make sure here. See if Rick Hendrickson was here. He'd be like, "Damn it, White, get it together." I'm going to check out this official document, the official slate, I should say. Cards subject to change for this FanCon, because it ties into what we got next on Worldwide. There is a meet and greet / dinner at the Sportatorium on Friday the 13th. That's right, Friday the 13th. It's in October. Friday, October the 13th. That's kind of crazy and eerie. There's going to be a meetup and dinner for $10. They're estimating $10 a head. Estimating $10 a head for a group dinner. It's catered local Italian cuisine. It's the same Italian cuisine you can get if you run your birthday party at the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium. Good old Mimi's Pizza, I'm guessing, which, honestly, it's not bad pizza at all. It's not New York pizza. It's not what those... It's probably not with a good pizza like John Philip Havage is used to up north, but it's good. They do a good job. We get Logan Easton LaRue versus Alex Daniels next. My God. Was this awesome. This is your main event. I got to tell you, man, this match right here, I was looking forward to seeing this. I wish I could have seen it live. This was the match that made me want to go to this show live, but I couldn't, sadly. Bring your ghosts and hang out. That's right. That's what's up. I'll read the full event thing here in a minute. So, Daniels was really aggressive to start here with LaRoe. Daniels showing a new, probably Little Italy. No, Mimi's Pizza's right down the road. That's where they get the other pizza from, so why not everything else? Actual meal. Oh, God. Johnny P's cooking? Is friend of the real restaurant. Mimi's is a real restaurant. They have good pizza. I like the pizza. Crazy story. One night where it's me, my girlfriend, my son, and her son. So you might as well say my stepson. There's 4 of us at the Sportatorium. We're going to go to eat after the show. But we get hungry while sitting in the Sportatorium. So, Little Italy in Burlington. Never heard of it. It's probably like all the other Italian restaurants. They have the same food. They just call it different things. But anyway, get back to my story here. We're sitting here, and we're all hungry as hell watching the show right before the show. So we decided, screw it. We're just going to buy a whole pizza from the concession stand. So here it is, the 4 of us in a big-ass pizza box sitting in the CWF Sportatorium just picking out on pizza. Everybody's looking around at us like, what the hell are these rednecks doing? If it's not just pizza, it'd be great, man. I like Italian food, anything Italian, including pizza, so I don't care. But getting back to Daniels and LaRoe here. Daniels just makes a hell of a baby face. It's really good. He's really good as a baby face. I was shocked. I was like, can he pull off being a baby face? And he can. Parts of the match, we got a sick drop kick to the back of the head by Daniels. It looked really sick. He gets as a herd of elephants is coming down my stairs. Anyway. He throws, Logan throws, I can't look at this and say it without laughing because it was a funny spot. He throws Daniels into the corner, does LaRoe, and LaRoe mounts the turnbuckle and is getting ready to do the classic 10 punches, and he looks right at the commentary team and goes, "This is for you, fat boy," and Stutz goes, "He's talking about you, Cecil." It's great. I like the through the rope clothesline by LaRoe. Daniels then, Daniels' knee gets hurt. Sells it like a son of a bitch, which was awesome. I love the way he sold the knee in this match. Until he started his comeback. It was a typical... It reminded me a lot of a match I saw in Japan recently where I think it was Okada, where his knee was supposed to be hurt, and then midway through the match, the knee just automatically stopped hurting. But this really wasn't the case here because he did reference the knee and hobble a little bit. So, if you serve chicken parm at this fan event, you might as well just buy a whole plate of it just for me because that is like my favorite food ever. I love me some chicken parm. You know what's even better is a chicken parmesan sub. Ooh. Y'all are making me hungry tonight. Daniels plays like his knee is hurt, and then Logan puts him in the corner, gives him a face wash. Daniels gets fired up. He sells the leg a little bit, but that doesn't last long. We get a nice turnout slam. Match ends where Logan has a poke to the eye as the ref is distracted, hits a cutter, and retains. This match was awesome. This match is you need to go out of your way. If you haven't seen this episode of Worldwide, the entire episode is great. Logan Easton LaRose standing tall with the Ultra J Championship in the ring. Then all of a sudden we see Chet Sterling come out. We see Smith Garrett come out. We see Ethan Alexander Sharp come out, really selling the fact that he won. Everybody's selling the fact this is your finals night right here. That's your final four. I like the way they did this. I like the way they booked this here. I like the way they sold you on the fact that the final four have come out. They didn't do a big old brawl at the end. They didn't do a stare down in the middle of the ring. It was just them coming out to all four corners of the arena. Again, they used that arena. That's another thing that makes the Sportatorium so great. They use it as a backdrop. It's beautiful. It's tricky because not everyone who says they are coming even gave us a heads up when we asked for an initial head count, estimating at least 20 people at this point. I'll put the word out there. If you are going to FanCon, please help them out. Help us out. Hell, we're going to, the podcast. Well, it'll be a podcast that night because we're not going live, I guess. I consider myself internet radio. I know. Makes me sound above everybody, doesn't it? Anyway. Hey, I was doing this back when we were just calling it internet radio, so. But anyway, the official, unofficial CWF Worldwide AfterShow is going to be there. The 13th and the 14th. And so if you're going, we need to get a head count because here's the thing: if you do plan on going to the dinner, they need a head count because they're going to need to find out how much food to order. So if you want there to be enough food go around, you need to DM Johnny P on Twitter. The names are flashing by here on the bottom of the screen for the Twitters. For their Twitter accounts. Him and JB. Do these guys a favor. I believe this is kind of like their first time trying to organize an event like this. Help them out. So let's run down through this here. We had 50 or so at the Coronado FanCon. It'd be nice if 50 people showed up there, man. So let's run this down. This is on their Twitter handles if you want to look at this for yourself. It's both of their have this as their pinned tweets. October 13th and 14th, it's Friday evening through Saturday. Friday evening events roughly start at 6 p.m. at the Sportatorium until late evening. $10 to 15 people, man. If you get over 20, that's awesome. I'll put it to you this way. If you get over 20 people there, it's a sign that you need to bring it back next year because word of mouth is going to spread about it. Don't just let it be a one and done. So, who is this for? It's for fans of CWF and wrestling alike. Young fans who just want to come and hang out. Sample CWF. All are welcome. It's family friendly. It's in Burlington and Gibsonville, North Carolina, which Gibsonville might as well be in Burlington. Literally 3 miles apart from each other. The official FanCon hotel is the Ramada Burlington and Hotel and Conference Center. If you're interested in the address for the hotel and more information on the hotel, I won't reveal it here. See Johnny P about it. See, here's the thing, though, John. If you do a test run and you don't bring it back next year, you're going to have a lot of people upset. Because, I mean, think of if people need to do word of mouth on this and have it be big. I mean, I'd like to see us have 50 next year. Hell, I'd like to see us have 50 this year. Turn out. Anyway, the FanCon events themselves, including that dinner we were speaking out, will be taking place at the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium located at 1001 Springwood Avenue in Gibsonville, North Carolina. The venue is going to host the FanCon events for the 13th and 14th. Also, the CWF Rumble on Saturday night, October the 14th. Does anybody have any words on when the tickets for that go on sale? Because I need to get mine. I'm not going to be able to get VIP, but I'm more of a bleacher bum anyway at this point, I guess you would say. I don't need a cushion. So I'm not going to mention anything here about the hotel. It's a Ramada. It's a pretty nice hotel. Schedule of events here. CWF FanCon events are optional, and only the Friday group dinner and the CWF Rumble will cost fans anything to attend. Information is below here in the schedule. If you're already talking about next year, sign me up again. We'll be there. Or at least I'll be there. I'm coming by myself. My family is choosing to sit this one out because of the fact of me doing the podcast and transporting equipment and everything. They don't want to be part of the craziness. So, I'd imagine post early September show or around there. Hell, do it for Battlecade next year, man. I think that's the time to do it. Battlecade's their version of Mania. It's their biggest show of the year. Hell, you saw how many people were there. Battlecade. Hell, Battlecade's where I met you in person last year, Johnny P. Or it was shortly afterward. Battlecade, I think, was your first show, wasn't it? First show live, at least. So here's things that are going to go up. 6 p.m., the meet and greet dinner. They're estimating $10 a head. For a fully catered local Italian cuisine, get to meet everyone. Some CWF staff may stop by to say hello. Guests of honor are Brad Stutz, who is CWF creative head and lead announcer, and Grant Sawyer, who's head of production. They will arrive for the meal in our featured event of the evening, which is scheduled to take place between 8 and 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Q&A panel and discussion. They'll be doing a somewhat relaxed and informal Q&A panel with Brad and Grant after the meal. Ask all about CWF, their thoughts on wrestling history and modern products. Bold letters here, and I'm going to tell you, bold letters here. Please be polite and respect our guests, as well as understand there are certain things they may not want to talk about. Please don't be jerks to these guys. You got to understand the Fan Fest is really not being put on by CWF. They're just supporting it. And we want them, I can't speak for Johnny P or JB, but I know that if they're going to do this year after year, if we're going to have a Fan Fest after year, I'd like them to participate in it. Okay. I was not at that Rumble. I was not at that, wait. Was that the one that Everett won? I got to go back and watch it. My brain is fried tonight, guys, from work and everything. Then from 9:45 to 11, they're going to do a viewing of top CWF matches selected by fans/committee. I'm not on the committee. If I was, Chip Day and Trevor Lee, just show that. and Chip and, then Trevor and, if you're talking about this year, Chip and Daniels too. Show that, show the Kazi rules match between Kazi and Nick Richards. That's what you can do too. Show that one. Oof. That one has no commentary, and telling you right now, it doesn't need it. If that match had commentary, it wouldn't be as good. It's one of the few matches I don't want to see commentary for. How about that one? And I'm a commentary mark. I think commentary makes it. Everett or Wilkins. They restarted, I believe. I want to say that was the year Everett won. Anyway. This is a fun little event that they're trying out. Leads into the late night event back at the hotel. They're forming a small committee to select top 3 matches in CWF history, along with input from fans coming to the event via Twitter. Matches will be shown on the famed Sawyertron. There you go. Video screen in the Sportatorium immediately after the Stutz and Sawyer panel. This will be contingent, but we love CWF. And matches not chosen will be shown along with other requests at our late night event back at the hotel. Nick may show up. We'll probably watch that, actually, if not there. I'm glad Nick will be around, man. Nick needs to do Radio Row. Nick needs to do Radio Row. I'm gonna petition. That's another one. I already asked for Kazi. Give me Nick Richards and give me Brad Stutz on Radio Row. That's all I'm gonna say. I've been wanting Brad to come on here for a while. He says I'll do it when I have something to promote. My answer to that is, dude, you're a booker. You always have something to promote. At least you should. So anyway, if basically the late night event, we want to be respectful and out of the venue by 11 as they have a show the next day. So if they have to cut a match short, they'll be screened back at the hotel. Back at the hotel. I've been dubbing this the CWF frat party back at the hotel. No, that's not an official name for it. That's something I came up with. It's the CWF frat party. Let's see if we can get kicked out of the Ramada. I'm kidding. Do not get kicked out of the Ramada. Because next year you'll be staying at the Quality Inn, and you don't want to stay at the Quality Inn. No. Be respectful of the Ramada. Respect the Ramada, people. Brad will not be there Saturday morning, nor Grant. We had them Friday night because Saturday there's a bit. I can only imagine. Hey, don't be sorry. Hell, I'll set up Friday night and do it. I don't care. It's crazy that we're getting access to the Sportatorium and neither one of them are going to be there. That's kind of eerie to me. That's like their home, man. You don't step foot in their home when they're not there. So basically this says we go back to the hotel, plan on having an informal old school tape watching party. Yeah, it is a nice place. When I hear tape watching party, I'm not used to the tape watching party. In multiple rooms at the hotel in the tradition of fan conventions going back to the 80s when fans come across the country to gather and brought VHS tapes to share from random territories, we'll be using modern technology such as hard drives, streaming services, etc. to watch wrestling and hang out with friends. They'll have a CWF room, a Carolina Crockett specific territories room, and a modern room for things at the moment like Matt Riddle. He's the thing at the moment, all right. Or New Japan. I will say one thing for the modern room. If the dick spot comes out anywhere in this, I'm out. That's a personal thing with me. I've already tweeted out that there's a the other promotions I'm really getting into, Wrestle Circus. They had a really good show last month, or this past month, with Cody Rhodes and oh man, who did he go up against? Anyway, it was a damn good show. But they booked Joey Ryan for next month. And I know this is me getting on my soapbox here, so I apologize. I immediately tweeted at Wrestle Circus and told them, look, I love you guys. You're a damn good promotion. I like what you do. But I will not be tuning in to anything that you book Joey Ryan on. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. Eurofeds and even WWE. I'll talk WWE with you. Am I going to be the black sheep of the fan watching party if I request a WWE match? Rooms will be announced once they have room numbers. Anyone who wants to volunteer a room, laptop, HDMI, online service, or footage. I got an external hard drive sitting here that can download whatever, pretty much, or try to download whatever. But see JB or Johnny P on Twitter. Their names are scrolling against the bottom of your screen. If it's Joey Ryan, we don't have any footage of him. I guess something might pop on YouTube. Can't control everything. You're the organizers. Sure you can. But I know. Some people like Joey Ryan. Hey, if you like Joey Ryan, that's your bag, man. But I'm sorry. The only way to get... for the people who don't like him, the only way to get this bullcrap with Joey Ryan to stop is to not watch any card that he's booked on. Because if business goes down and they see that it's contributed to Joey Ryan, if they read instant messaging, oh my God, yeah, you got mail. If they read on Twitter that you're not watching because of Joey Ryan, guess what? They'll stop booking Joey Ryan. It's easy. And can we make a thing for this event? No beach balls. If you bring a beach ball into the sportatorium, you're going to get the evil eye from me all night. That's all I'm saying. No beach balls. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12:30, Q&A panel and discussion with stars of CWF. They're going to be having a Q&A panel discussion with the stars of CWF back at the sportatorium, meaning they'll have 75% vetted questions that you can submit by sending in to John and JB, and 25% open floor questions at the end. Set it up this way as a precaution because so many Q&As are derailed by fans asking very specific questions of wrestlers that they cannot remember or just being unaware of how to properly conduct themselves in social situations. Well said. Well said. I like that. Already confirmed, Michael McAllister, CL Party, Dirty Daddy, Mitch Connor, Kane Justice, Eric Royal, Eric Andrews, Snooty Fox, Kazi, Kamikaze Kid, the coach, Nick Richards, Smith Garrett, and Amber Gertner. More names will be added. Card is subject to change. Any podcaster can tape these panels. That's a rough one for me because if I'm having to set my soundboard up in one spot, it's very difficult for me to tape a panel. But I'll put it to you this way. If you want to see any of the panels, come to the Fan Fest. I'm not going to be taping panels. I'll be doing Podcast Alley, and you'll hear that probably the next week on the after show when I cut the interviews together. But I'm not going to tape a panel because, to me, what incentive do you have to come there? Bruce Mitchell feels really strong about fans not taking that mic. What's the point of them coming if you can't ask a question? I mean, it is a Q&A and it is a panel. You know, even at Comic-Con, they let fans take questions. Or fans ask questions. So. After the first panel, it's Podcast Alley, which is my area. Well, not my area. There's other podcasters there. But the official, unofficial after show will be there. Just remember, we are the only podcast/wrestling radio show that is live every Wednesday night after CWF airs on YouTube. We encourage podcasters to set up shop in a specific area where we'll be funneling CWF personnel into the Q&A from the Q&A panels. Equally distributed, 10-minute time limits. Encourage podcasters to differentiate some questions and content, even with people they interview. If you are a podcaster with a history of shows and a few interviews, submit a request to Johnny P or JB. Yeah, the compromise is a good thing. 75-25. Hell, I'll put it to you this way. When the wrestlers got to ask questions during that quote-unquote Q&A with Brad Attitude, the wrestlers were asking bum questions, wanting to know about the rats, which I thought was funny as hell. That Q&A is up at CWFWorldWide.com, by the way. This will need to be going on during any panels after the first, so be aware you may miss some content. However, you can record the panels. So I'm going to miss some content. Other events are in the works that are not definite yet. Not going to say what those are. 2 p.m. to mid-afternoon, they're going to have a late lunch, early break. No specific location. This may end up being your time to explore and make friends with anyone. Daytime events are over. If any events are added, this will be the slot. Then at 7 p.m., it's the CWF Rumble. Tickets are not on sale. But when they do, you can go to CWF247.com and buy tickets there. The hotel shuttle. Apparently there's a shuttle from the hotel to the event. Then, guess what, folks? At the post-show, we're all going to Spago's. Just kidding. Burlington doesn't have a Spago's, but they got a Hooters. That'll be their local post-show hangout party located right off Route 40. I'll probably go to Hooters, man. You cannot turn down a good Hooters burger and scenery. You just can't. I've even told my girlfriend I'm going to Hooters. Didn't have a problem with it. She's like, just don't come home. Just don't go home with any of them. I was like, honey, The waitress, I don't think I'm the waitress's at Hooters clientele. I don't think they go home with me anyway. Told her half the time I wonder what the hell she goes home with me for. So here's the important thing about this meetup at Hooters. If CWF personnel do come to the establishment, say hi, buy them a drink. Do engage them in conversation, but don't be a jerk. Let them eat. Know your boundaries. Then on Sunday, everybody checks out of the hotel, goes home. You tell your friends what a good event this was. It says we'll try to get a shuttle, but it's first come, first serve. Okay. No guaranteed shuttle. Does Burlington have Uber? Are they a Uber city yet? Hell, if I'm going to this thing by myself, I could probably even run people back and forth to the hotel. From the hotel to the venue. I can try. I'm not making any promises, but I could try to cram a couple. I drive a Kia Soul, so it's not the biggest car in the world, but it can seat up to 5. So I can at least get 4 people with me going back and forth. I could try. Some more news, and if you want to be updated on the events going on for the CWF Mid-Atlantic FanCon, you need to follow Johnny P, John Filipavage, or Jay Bryant. They're going along the bottom of your screen right now on Twitter. I'm glad Uber is down there because here in Danville, they look at you and go, "What's an Uber?" So come join in the fun this coming CWF CWF Rumble weekend. And have fun. Those of you watching on Twitch, we thank you very much. Help Twitch go, help us grow on Twitch just as well as YouTube. We did get one new subscriber. I've already given him a shout out, but I'll go ahead and give him another shout out here. He's a good friend of us on the show. I mentioned Rick Hendrickson earlier. Rick Hendrickson introduced me to this guy back in the day, and he was kind enough to subscribe with us. There he is. Mr. Brass Eye 67. Vince is worried because you're subscribing to us. I don't know why that worries Vince, but that's the gift I chose. And I'm telling you right now, Uber cannot be that expensive from the Ramada in Burlington to the Sportatorium. Although, truth be told, I didn't know there was a Ramada in Burlington. But, yeah, 5 or 6 miles. So, I mean, it can't be that much of an Uber or a taxi. I mean, I'm sure they have taxis or something. It's a college town. I think they even have buses that run around there. I don't think they have a bus that goes by the Sportatorium, but it'll get you close. Bottom line is, we want you to come hang out. We want you to have fun. I want you to have fun. I want you to come hang out. Hell, I want you to be part of the first ever live official, unofficial aftershow. Can you imagine me with a studio audience? Oy vey. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of here for this evening. I'd like to thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We will definitely be back here next Wednesday. And again, all donations that are going to be produced here throughout the month of August and September, you'll see links for those down at the bottom of your page, whether it be on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube. All donations made to, and again, I don't usually shill for donations. I could care less about donations. I mean, it's nice to have them, but any donations made during the month of August and September are going to the family of Rick Hendrickson. And we did a tribute show to Rick up there on the channel here. So if you want to go see that tribute, if you want to hear me cry like a little bitch toward the end of it, go watch that tribute. We had a bunch of guests. Evan Ginsberg was on the show. Bunch of other people. Casey Carnage was on the show. Sheldon Goldberg, promoter of New England Championship Wrestling, was on the show talking about Rick because Rick helped them out with their web hosting. So if you know about New England Championship Wrestling or Sheldon Goldberg, who is an awesome guy. Yeah, Johnny P, you're going to need to jump on here and promote it. I would love to have you on, dude. Hell, co-host with me one night if you want. We need to get that ironed out. You should. That's an idea. You should come on here and be a co-host one night and promote the hell out of the FanCon. But yeah, the tribute show was awesome. We had a lot of people coming out. I really want to thank Sheldon Goldberg, Evan Ginsberg, Casey Carnage, everybody else who called in that night and made it a really memorable show and a really, really loving tribute. That's going to do it for us this week. Until next Wednesday, Sheldon is an awesome human being. He's awesome. And until next week, folks, we will see you at the Sportatorium.